Hello everyone, this is Telenissa. I'm here to bring you guys another WeakAura's tutorial video, and this time it is episode 3 and we are going over the resource bar. So with the resource bar, I'm going to be showing you guys the basics and how to set up a resource bar to track a certain resource of your choosing. This is a very flexible and fantastic way to use WeakAura's that helps a lot of WeakAura's UIs set up in proper ways, and there are definitely many ways to go about changing it to your preferences. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you guys would like to see more content in the future, please consider subscribing if you have not already, and hopefully you guys enjoy my content. Okay, so with the resource bar, the interesting thing about it is you initially don't see in the options a choice to get a resource bar. So actually it is actually a progress bar, like in one of my previous videos. However, we do need to give it a little bit of tweaks here and there to make it show what you would like. So for this one, we are going to track maelstrom. So for this one, we are going to track maelstrom, and I'll show you guys how to change it from this small puny bar with all this like fancy text and whatever into a maelstrom bar. Very simple. And if you guys want to add a little extra flair here and there to suit your preferences, definitely by all means. So what we start out with is the display tab. So for the display tab, you basically change how the icon or bar looks. So for this one, we will be going to the display tab. Bar texture, generally, if you want to play with how the bar texture in the background kind of looks, you can do that. However, I generally just leave it as it is. Left text and right text, you can definitely choose which one you want to use. However, for the most part, I use left text and left text only, unless you want to track two different things at the same time. So such as if you want to have the name and then the actual tracking part, so the percentage or the total, what have you, you definitely can do that. For this one, I will be showing you how to just show the basic functions of how to track a resource bar. So for this one, we are going to delete everything from the right text and then add a space and push enter. The reason you push space and then enter is to remove the automatic function that it gives you. If you just delete everything and then push enter, you end up automatically giving you one of the default choices to track instead of not having anything there. So for this left one, we have it on N, so we'll show the name of the icon or bar or whatever that we have it named. For this example, we have maelstrom bar, so we want to change that to a percentage, and then that one is for P. So if you hover over the left text, you can see the different percentage and then letter that will show a specific code or text that corresponds to what it says. So for this one, it's progress, so it will track the resource that you are focusing on, and I will get into how to create a more specific resource bar for mana and then a color gradient, which I will get into later. So for this one, to change the position of the text, I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So, but before that, we have to go all the way to the bottom and change the dimensions of the bar to make it bigger and to show you more easily what I'm trying to do. So for this one, we go to width and we make that bigger, so we change that to 300. You guys can definitely change it to whatever size suits you best. So for width, we change to 300, so that will make the entire width of the bar, so how long it is, bigger or shorter. Okay, so for height we will change it to, let's say, 30, and that makes it a nice sizable bar. Maybe a little bit bigger, 50. So 50. So nice chunky bars for you guys can see. The Y offset and the X offset just are to help you know what position the bar is on your screen. So if it's all the way over there, it'll have a different number. If it's all the way over here, it will have different numbers to correspond to where it is on your screen. Okay, so for this one, when we scroll a little bit up, stacks, I almost never use stacks, so you don't really have to worry about that. We deleted the right text, so we do not actually need the right text. So since we don't use it, we don't need to change anything about it. It's better just to get it out of your sight, out of mind. Left text, so the text over here, if you want to change the size of the text and how it looks, you can do that. So for this one, we're going to change it to 24, make it nice and big. Text color, I'm going to keep it white. And then font type, you can change it to all these fancy fonts. However, the way it is fine for my example. So for this one, symbol settings, we turn off icon, and that removes the icon on the right that you saw earlier. And bar color, you can change what the color of the bar looks. So this will be the bar color in which you will track your resource. So as it gets bigger, it will fill up with that specific color, so you can change it to your specific needs, whatever works for you. So I generally use the class color. However, if let's say you're tracking mana and you want it to be a light blue to signify mana, you can definitely do that. If you want to track energy or focus and you want more of an orange tone, you can definitely do that as well. For this one, we will go for blue, nice and fancy. So to change the position of the left text, so to change the position of the text that we have, we actually need to add spaces to the left of your percentage %P sign. So we add spaces, and as you add spaces, you actually change the position of the text on the bar. So we want it a little bit slightly into the middle, maybe a little bit backwards. There we go. So nice and in the middle and very readable. So you see how the numbers have, it counts down, and it has, let's move it a little. You see how the numbers have the 7 point whatever. The way you change that is you make this either a 12 to only show integers, or if you want it to be a little bit more specific, you can show more decimal places. But for the most part, I use integers. The only difference is when I'm tracking the whole percentage of the mana bar, which I will show in a different video. You switch things a little bit more differently. So orientation is basically how the bar fills up and depletes. So for now, I have it right to left, and when it is right to left, it will, when you're low on the resource, it will start on the left, and when you're high on the resource, it will be on towards the right. So let's say if you have mana, you will start at 100% of your mana, and it will as you use your mana, it will slowly deplete from the right to the left. But let's say you're a builder or a spender class, such as the Demon Hunter, you have Fury or Pain, and you need to generate it, so it will start from the left at 0 and then go up as you gain more of that resource. If you want to change how the orientation works, then you can do left to right, bottom to top. If you want a more vertical bar, you can definitely do that. However, this is how we are going to set it up for now. Make that a little bit more. Okay, so for the next tab, we go to the trigger tab. So this one will introduce the functionality of the actual bar to make it work. So for resource, we actually go to the type trigger, and we go to status, And then under status, we actually go to power, which is right here. And then we are tracking our own power bar. So we have player, and then you can track things such as your target's resource or anything, well, most things of your choosing, just to give you a little bit more of a flexibility in choosing what you want to track. So power type, we go to maelstrom, and if you, this other stuff you generally don't want to mess with too much, and it just gives a little bit more extra functionality if you would like to do so. You can definitely play around with that if you'd like to see what it does. However, I'm just showing you guys the basics. So that is pretty much all that we need to make the maelstrom, the resource bar, function properly. You can change the power types to track soul charge, runic power, combo points, energy, what have you. So next we go to load. So basically load will be based on when the bar will show up. So let's say you want it up all the time, you actually don't need to change anything. However, let's say you want it to show on a while you're in combat, or when you're out of combat, or never at all. You can click never if you just want to play with it, and or it's still in the works. So if we want it in combat, and then let's say we want it on a specific character, so you want your maelstrom bar to show up, or your resource bar to show up when you're in a specific set, well, in a specific spec, sorry, and not for anything else, so it doesn't get confusing. What we have to go to is player class, and I am a shaman, and then talent specialization, I am currently in enhancement, and you can show it for a specific talent. However, for resource bar, generally not an issue. So for actions, you don't have to worry about this too much. Actions are more for icons to better show or shout out to you more eye-catching things. Generally, it doesn't have to do anything with a resource bar. And animations, last but not least, is something I will get into more when I get into another video specifically explaining how to add a color gradient to the resource bar. But that is pretty much it. It seems like I've been talking for quite a while. However, a resource bar is fairly simple. It's pretty easy to set up, and generally you don't have to work with much except for the first 3 tabs of display, trigger, and load. So let's see how this is in action. Oh, let's see. Move this resource bar up a little so it doesn't interfere. Okay, so as you can see, we slowly start generating our maelstrom and then using it. And it fills up from the left to the right. So again, resource bar is very useful in tracking a lot of things pertaining to your class, as well as tracking things that a boss or raid mechanic might do. So such as Gorefiend, if you want to track his resource and when he is going to transition from one phase to the other, it might be very useful to create a WeakAura just to track that, just to keep in mind of what you need to track. If you guys like the video, again, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already, and please share this video to anyone who might be interested and wants to learn more about WeakAura's and how it is a wonderful program to track pretty much anything in-game that you'd like. Until next time, guys, see ya. Wave. Okay.